Ephesians 1. Just as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we would be holy and blameless before him in love, he predestined us to adoption as sons through Jesus Christ to himself, according to the kind intention of his will. Verse 20 of 1 Peter 1, for he was foreknown before the foundation of the world, but has appeared in these last times for the sake of you, who through him are believers in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are in God. In 1964, Great Britain was at war with Indonesia, along with a couple of other countries. There were some fighters from Nepal called the Gurkhas, and these guys were fierce warriors fighting with the British. They did not turn down a mission. These guys were after it. They had a deep, deep devotion for the cause for which they fought for. They were approached by a British officer and told, we need you guys for a mission. We're going to have you guys drop out of a plane, make your way through some jungle, and take the enemy at their base on their territory. And these guys had not turned down a mission, and immediately they said no. And they walked away. The next day, the sergeant of these Gurkhas approached that British officer and said, we'll do it, but we have a couple of conditions. All right, what are those conditions? He says, first, we need the landing zone to be like swamp or somewhere like that, really marshy. He goes, okay, well, it's going to be jungle, so I think it's not going to be full of rocks or anything. He goes, the other thing is we need to fly that plane to fly as low and slow as possible, right over top the trees. The officer says, no, we can't do that, because if you're that low, your parachutes won't open. Sergeant goes, oh, you didn't say we'd have parachutes. Yeah, we're in. I laughed when I first read that. I thought it was pretty funny, but we need to consider what the thought process they had in their mind that day and night before they came to that conclusion. They thought, we're going to fall, not jump, fall out of a plane without parachutes. They must have known that there were going to be casualties amongst them. Not just injuries, but potentially several of them would die before they even got started with the mission. But they were committed to their cause, and committed at that level to where we know some of us aren't going to make it, but we're willing to do it. Before creation, the Godhead was together and said amongst themselves, we know we're going to create mankind, mankind's going to fall, and they're going to need a Savior. The Son said, I'll go. I will go and provide the sacrifice which will mean physical death and separation from the Father and the Spirit. Knowing that that was going to be awful. Knowing that there wasn't going to be this condition that he could lay on it. He wasn't going to go to the Father, hey, I'll do that, but I don't want to be born into some poor family. I mean, I'm God, so I should come down into the palace, right? No, I didn't make that condition. In fact, that was prophesied that that would not happen. He didn't say, I don't want to feel pain until I'm up on that cross. That condition wasn't offered either. He didn't ask for those things. He just knew that the mission was going to be such that he was going to endure something so terrible. And yet, I'm committed to my cause. I'm committed to the redemption of mankind, which we created and we love. That's the level of commitment. This wasn't a thing that he just decided, all right, well, I better go fix this. This was before anything happened. This plan was there in place, and that was his level of commitment to us. We were the joy set before him, that he would endure the cross, despising its shame.